My dear friends, although we can use this time to enter our spiritual inner realms and find peace, I want to bring some awareness and some understanding that this peace needs to make us change, since it has been shown clearly that governments are not capable of handling this coronavirus, given their lack of communication, maybe competition, the use for other reasons than the health of the individuals, the lack of coordination and understanding to put a lockdown on the planet as one, so that this pandemic brings its curves down. And it makes me think, and I need to comment on this, that not only are we facing the crisis of the coronavirus, but we're facing another two crises that have fallen into the background of obviousness, and it is the climate crisis and the nuclear crisis. Never since the day I was active in organizations such as the prevention of nuclear war in the 80s have we been so close to midnight in the clock that measures our proximity of nuclear risk. The cancellation of proliferation of nuclear weapons treaties among the Russian Federation and the United States has allowed also a proliferation in other places of the world, which puts us at tremendous risk, notwithstanding the fact that in India last summer the temperatures went up to 50 degrees, and that India is a nuclear power next to Pakistan in constant conflict for a small territory of Kashmir. There are three crises going on right now. Two are in the background. As I mentioned, the nuclear and the climate. But not because they are in the background are they less important than the coronavirus crisis, which is taking a toll on humanity, is taking a toll by the expansion of the numbers and by the lack of coordination for a lockdown, which is absolutely needed to pass the high moments of contagion. We're also concerned that this social isolation, which is granted a needed measure in the avoidance of propagation of this pandemic, is nothing else but a reflection of the isolation that we have already seen prior to this, when at one table in a restaurant we see three children, two adults, each one not communicating with each other, but connected to their phone or iPad, being in communication with invisible friends somewhere else and not present in a face-to-face communication like we're missing today, and a hand-to-hand touch and an embrace, which is so needed for the human well-being, our immunological system, and a sense of understanding, love, compassion, and cooperation with one another. So do not fear. We will overcome the coronavirus crisis, and the survivors will write the history as usual according to their will. But we need to see that the model of not caring that has prevailed and shown its effects in the non-management of this crisis, when in October of 2019, China had already declared the risks of this coronavirus and its expansion, and papers published in January of 2019 showed that there was a risk of another SARS-CoV-2 virus which was out of control. Where was the scientific cooperation? And where was the power of government to restore in the National Institutes of Health the authority that it had when we were under the polio crisis, coming up with the Sabin vaccine, which was not a patented vaccine, but available to all and everyone. The model in which we're living economically and mentally is showing its gaps and its failures. And if we survive when we in the way we are living, I wish this for inner work, not of the personal problematics, but of inner work of awareness of the situation of society and the effects it is having on management of life. I wish you all the best. Survive, and we will continue working.